Hello, hello, and welcome to my May book corner. May was an interesting month. I kind of decided to take a trip down memory lane and sort of visit my 14-year-old self, I think. I was like 14 to the ages of 16 that I was reading these particular books, which might give it a little bit away. Yeah, I'll get straight into it. The first book that I finished this month is a collection of little essays by Alida Nugent called Don't Worry, It Gets Worse. Basically, this is perfect if you're just entering your 20s or if you're just entering into like semi-adulthood. It's basically just kind of giving you confirmation that you're not the only one that's making all these mistakes that, you know, cannot adult, as most of us like to say. It was really fun to read. A few of the things didn't quite match with me. I mean, she's an American to an Australian. There are a couple of differences, and also just obviously personalities change and personalities are different. So there are a couple of things where she would say like, oh, I would never do that, and I was like, but I would do that. So it was a little bit different at some points, but overall it was such a fun read. It's super easy, it's super small, it's not very hard to get through, and I mean, you just feel like you're having a conversation with a friend. So I would highly recommend this if you are, as I said, coming into your 20s or into like a bit more of a semi-adulthood life. It's about, you know, trying to live on your own, realizing how expensive it is to live on your own, that dreaded moment where you might have to move back in with your parents, you know, trying to find a good job, just trying to be happy in your life and happy with where you are. So yeah, I quite enjoyed giving this a light read. It was very different to the previous books that I've read this year. I think this is the first non-fiction book that I've read. Yeah. So this month I read 2.5 books, 2.5 books, and I can kind of explain why it's a half. So the last two books that I read in this month, they go together. I was reading them simultaneously, and it was this. Yeah, I just really felt like it. I can't explain it more than I've probably read this series more than anything else. I was the perfect age when Twilight came out to read Twilight and to love Twilight, and then the movies came out and it was like everything's great. So I got into this because the movies were, oh no. As I was saying, I got into this because the movies were on TV, I watched it with my mum, then I watched New Moon, then I watched Eclipse, then I watched Breaking Dawn Part 1, then I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I was like, I've not had enough. I want to continue this reminiscing into my 14-year-old self where it was all about Edward, and I started reading them. And while it's not the greatest writing, I think if you have read these, you can recognize that, but there's just something about it, and I think it's just because I was the right age. Like, if I tried to read this now, I'd probably find it a little bit childish maybe, and I mean, still reading it now, I get a little bit annoyed at her use of adjectives. Like, I don't know if she realizes, but she loves the word chagrin. Like, loves it. What? Cat. Every time. As I was saying. What was I saying? Yes, she loves the word chagrin. Like, loves it. It's all throughout this book, and the 0.5 of my reading this month was Midnight Sun, which, if you're a die-hard fan like myself, you would know is Twilight from Edward's point of view, which is really fun. Like, it's so frustrating that, I'm gonna put this down, it's so frustrating that she didn't release it as a full book. So the reason it's a 0.5 is because it is still only a rough draft, like, that was released on her website. after it was leaked by one of her sources, which sucks. Like, I totally get that. But now she's come out saying that she'll never release it, ever, because of 50 Shades of Grey, and I just want more of Edward's mind. Like, it's so fun to see his thought processes, and it was so great to read them at the same time. So what I was doing, I was reading Up in Midnight Sun because it finishes first. It finishes before Twilight does. And then I would go back and I would read the same chapters in Twilight. And so it was reading Edward's point of view of like a scene, and then reading Bella's point of view of a scene. And, you know, both of them are like, oh, what are they thinking? What is she thinking? What is he thinking? You know, what's going through his mind? Why did he raise his eyebrow or whatever? And you're like, I know why. Yeah, I was just a little bit young this month, and probably next month, because I'm really feeling New Moon, not gonna lie. I'll probably read it. You'll probably see it in the next book corner. Don't judge. Self-aware that I am in love with Twilight. I probably always will be. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, the movies probably helped a lot. Kristen Stewart. I love Kristen Stewart. She's incredible. I kind of went on a binge of like watching all her movies that I have, because she's just an amazing actress as well. So yeah, those were the only books that I read this month. It seems small because, I mean, I'd already read Twilight and Midnight Sun before, so I got through those pretty fast, and Don't Worry, It Gets Worse is quite small, I guess, but it's been a busy month. But next month I've already started reading a different book, so you won't just have Twilight in the whole of the next book corner, so please, please come back for my June book corner. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to see a couple down there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!